Hi YouTube, it's Carrie, Lady VSG, here with my week 14 update. It's actually Monday, July 13th, so I'm making the video on time, so yay me! I had my VSG surgery on April 6, 2015 in Tijuana, Mexico with Dr. Ariel Ortiz at the Obesity Control Center. When I booked the surgery, I weighed 301.8 pounds. The day of my surgery, so April 6th, I weighed 272, and today I weighed in at 221.8 pounds, so a loss of 3 pounds in the last week, and a total loss of 80 pounds overall. So, yay, I'm really excited about that. I don't know, I like it when I've lost and it's nice even numbers, so either ending in 5s or 0s, but it's still mind-boggling to me that I've lost 80 pounds, because there are times where, you know, I look in the mirror and I feel like, oh, I look the same, you know, I can see, I'm starting to be able to see it even when I'm naked, you know, and changing and stuff. Like my belly does look different, parts of me look different, but sort of in my mind, even though I know like these individual pieces of me look different, there's still this, like, the mental image I have of myself in my mind is still that 300-pound Carrie. So, I don't know, I like being able to remind myself constantly, like, no, I've lost 80 pounds. Like, I don't look like that anymore. Plus, you know, most of my clothes don't really fit. So that helps too. I actually went and bought a bunch of new scrub pants this week. It's interesting because I was wearing a 3XL. Now I'm down to, I can get into larges, but I feel like they're too tight. You know, I'm a little scared to bend over. It seems like the seams don't have that much forgiveness. So I bought some XLs because I was still wearing 2XLs. And they're like, well, they're straight up more comfortable. But they're fitted differently. Like, it didn't occur to me, you know, when I lose weight, my clothes are going to be, like, I feel like tailored isn't the right word because I'm not getting them custom tailored to me, but they're just, like, the seams and stuff are more flattering, you know? It's not just like, here's some scrub pants and they're just stovepipe legs. Like, they're actually sort of tapered and they've got a little cutout at the ankle, like the seam to the ankle doesn't go all the way down. It sort of has the little triangle cutout. Like, they're cuter. They're just straight up cuter. The construction's slightly different, and they're more flattering. So that's exciting. Like, you know, scrub pants are, well, scrubs in general are basically just pajamas that I get to go to work in. And it's weird to be like, oh, like, these sort of pajama clothes are slightly cuter. They're, you know, more attractive looking on me than the bigger ones. So that's nice, but it also makes me mad because it's like, even when I was 300 pounds, why didn't you think I would want to wear cute scrubs, you big jerks? But that is a whole different ball of wax. So, so I got new scrub clothes. That's exciting. In terms of what I'm eating this week, you know, I was late with last week's video, so it's only been a couple of days. Still doing the Isopures. I got my order from Vitamin Shoppe today. My chocolate protein got back ordered, so that's not in yet, but I got some new Quest bars. So I already had, it's like the double chocolate fudge or fudge brownie or something, like something chocolatey. And so that one has a pretty consistent texture all the way through. And then I also have the mint chocolate or chocolate mint chip or something. Anyway, and that one has, you know, they're like chunks of mint in the bar, and I kind of like that one better, where it's not just the one pure consistency, because that just reminds me of Power bars. And even though the Quest bars taste better, just, you know, like, oh, I was never really a fan of Power bars, so I don't want to be reminded of them. So these ones that I ordered, I haven't tried either of them, so hopefully they have more texture to them. But I got the chocolate chip cookie dough, because seriously, if it's chocolate chip cookie dough flavor anything, I will eat it. Blizzards, you know, straight up cookie dough, I love it. So got that one. And then I also got the chocolate peanut butter. So I have high hopes for these. I'm sure you can tell I really like chocolate. I tend to get chocolate flavored everything. And then, you know, I ordered another case of the Isopures that I like so much because I need protein and I need fluids, and so that's a lazy way for me to get it. In terms of what else I'm eating, you know, I've noticed lately, well, I mean, ever since the surgery, obviously my eating habits have changed, and I wouldn't be able to go very long without eating, you know, like I would get hungry, and then once my stomach starts rumbling, you know, I'm like a toddler. I start to fall to pieces, and I'm like, I have to eat, you know, I'm so unhappy right now, I need something in my stomach. And like, since the surgery, I still feel hungry, but it's not like an everyday thing, and it doesn't become this all-consuming need. I don't need to shove food in my face. It's like, oh, I haven't really eaten, you know, recently, I should eat something. And I feel like I'm more mature about it. I'm not sure how I want to phrase that. But yeah, like, it doesn't become this instant meltdown, I have to be fed right now or I'm going to, like, throw a hissy fit kind of a thing. I mean, granted, I'm like, that potential is still there, and it's happened, you know, it's like, I need to eat, I don't care what we're doing right now, like, somebody feed me. Like, so that's certainly, you know, it's still there, but it's not as bad. But there was a day over the weekend where I was dinking around doing other stuff, like homework and, you know, testing paint swatches and whatnot, and then realized I haven't eaten yet today. It's like 5:30 at night, I'm starving, and at that point, I was hungry enough that it was like I couldn't deal with even just cooking, you know, and I don't have bread or anything in the house, so I couldn't even just make myself like a peanut butter sandwich. So I went to Wendy's, and of course, you know, I'm hungry and I'm actively like, I need to eat, and so I ordered way too much food. I got a 10-piece nuggets and a small chili. Got home, I ate 3 of the nuggets, and I mean, I still chewed them so that they were the proper consistency before I swallowed, but it was definitely like a race in chewing. So I ate 3.5 nuggets, and that last half a nugget, I took a bite, and I was still hungry, so I took a bite of nugget, chewed, swallowed, and just like that little swallow, you know, my stomach was like, done. And so, yeah, I couldn't even finish the rest of that nugget. Like, I thought, well, maybe if I just sit here a couple of minutes, and it was like, nope, I'm done. I don't want any more food, and even just, like, you know, so I set them aside, and I thought, well, yeah, I could put them in the fridge for later, but just, I'm sure part of it is because, you know, I haven't really eaten fast food since the surgery. So between that and probably how fast I was eating these nuggets, like, even in the 30 minutes I was sitting around just sort of waiting for my, you know, waiting to digest, waiting to feel not so uncomfortably full, just looking at them, like, I just started to get really grossed out. Not like, I didn't think I was going to throw up or anything, like, I wasn't physically nauseous, but just seeing them there, you know, I was like, oh, I don't even want to look at them, and I ended up just throwing them away, which bugs me because I hate wasting food, which was always my excuse for, like, why I was shoveling food in my face, like, oh, I don't want to waste it, kind of a thing. But at the same time, it's like, well, I'm kind of bummed because, you know, maybe the next day I could have eaten those nuggets, because I put the chili in the fridge and I ate that the next day, and that was fine. But I also, you know, it took me 45 minutes or an hour to eat the chili, but I think I ate it for breakfast, you know, and so I wasn't starving, I wasn't just shoveling food in my face, like, I was taking my time, like I'm supposed to, you know, chewing really slowly, and so, you know, it took me almost an hour to eat the chili, but I didn't have to throw it away, and so it was kind of a learning experience for me, like, don't let myself get hungry, you know, make sure that I'm eating, because that's important, you need to eat. And, you know, it is important to eat slower. You know, I wouldn't have been able to finish 10 nuggets in one sitting anyway, but I definitely didn't need to just try to, like, shovel as many chicken nuggets in my face at one time as possible. So, you know, lesson learned. So let's see. Sorry I keep looking down. I tried to make topics so I would remember what I was going to talk to you guys about. So, in terms of, so I mean, that's kind of how I'm thinking and eating right now. Like, I'm really excited about the weight loss, and my eating habits haven't changed a ton since, you know, 3 days ago when I made the last video. But, I mean, they have changed since the surgery, which was the point. So, you know, that's exciting. What I'm sort of thinking in terms of the future. So when I get down to, originally my goal was when I get to 200 pounds, I'm going to start riding horses again. Because when I was in middle school, like elementary school, middle school, and then a little bit into high school, I rode horses. You know, not like super competitively. Like I have a cousin who straight up competes like regionals and stuff like that, and she just won a championship, and you know, like nothing like that. But just, you know, for pleasure. Like that was a way I got exercise, even though I was always heavier. Like my thighs looked amazing because horseback riding is great for your thighs, you know, just in case you were wondering. So I want to start that up again. I'm still, when I was riding before, I was probably closer to 150 pounds, maybe 160. So I mean, I'm still, what, 60 pounds heavier than that. So I kind of want to email the barn that I'm looking at and ask the trainer, you know, sort of what should my weight loss goal be before I can start riding horses, because I want to be able to do it safely. I also, you know, I know I had told myself like that's going to be my reward for getting down to 200 pounds, but so far, I mean, I like Zumba, and body pump is okay. You know, it's not my favorite. It's exhausting. My legs hurt all the time from squats. But I want to do an activity that I'm excited to go to every week, you know, if that makes sense. And so I kind of would rather start riding horses sooner rather than later. So I think I'm going to email the trainer to see kind of, you know, what, like, is 200 pounds, like, is that kind of the goal I should be looking at? Is it possible to maybe start riding sooner? And just sort of see where we go from there. Because that's something I definitely want to get back into. I mean, I don't think that I would ever end up owning a horse, because it turns out they're really expensive, you know, which is something that young me did not understand and just thought my parents were the meanest because they never bought me a horse. But, you know, I want to get back into that, and I kind of think I'm going to start laying the groundwork for it, just to sort of see what can be done. And then the other plan for the future, I've wanted a breast lift since forever. I mean, ever since I gained a ton of weight. My breasts have always been large, and because of gravity, they've always kind of been saggy. And it's, you know, when I got up to being obese, you know, they were just saggy all the time, and losing weight, you know, they're losing tissue, you know, whatever, and so they're getting saggier and, you know, less attractive looking. So I always assumed that probably, you know, once I hit goal, a couple years down the line from that, I would probably have breast augmentation. But I always said, you know, I don't think I'm going to have the excess skin removed, blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't seem to be a priority. But the more I have been thinking about it the last couple weeks, and sort of having seen what I've seen as a nurse and what I've learned about in classes and things like that, and then sort of how my skin is looking now, I mean, it's definitely not going to be, I don't want to make it a definite plan that I'm going to have the skin removal surgery, but just, like, lately, kind of looking at stuff, I think it's more of a possibility. You know, I don't want there to be, like, I don't want to be getting skin infections and things like that. Ever since I got really heavy, like, I've had the pannus, the sort of my belly apron, I guess, you know, because it sort of folds over on itself. And losing weight is definitely, I mean, it's helping with that, but now it's like the apron, the pannus is still there, it's thinner, it's easier to deal with, but there's still a lot of skin-on-skin contact. So what I've been doing, I mean, for years now, ever since I got to be so obese, because back when I was in Weight Watchers, like years and years ago, because like I said, I have saggy boobs. Somebody mentioned one time, because I would complain about how, like, the skin underneath my breasts would get really raw and irritated, and somebody at a Weight Watchers meeting, I think, told me one time, oh, like just, you know, take your deodorant and like just put a little bit under there, and it sort of helps keep the sweat down, and then your skin doesn't get as irritated and stuff. So I've done that for years, as well as like underneath my apron, put a little bit of deodorant every day when I'm getting ready, just to sort of prevent, because that's been an ongoing issue. And when I don't put deodorant, especially under my belly, it does, like within one day it's red and irritated, and there's been a couple of times where I've basically had kind of like a yeast infection just from the sweat buildup being trapped underneath my belly. And so knowing that I've had to deal with that in the past, and it's, you know, it's obviously not going away anytime soon, like that specifically, I'm like, I really don't want to deal with a lifetime of constantly being afraid about getting a skin infection. So I do think that in the future, you know, once I get closer to goal, and probably once I hit goal, I would wait a minimum of 1 year. I would ideally like to wait closer to 2 years before I start doing any kind of plastics, just to see what kind of elasticity my skin's retained, and maybe some of it can kind of figure out on its own, like how to contract back, but we'll see. So just sort of long-term planning, that's kind of what's on my mind right now. Like activity-wise, I want to get back into horseback riding, but surgery-wise, I'm not real impressed with this, like, the maintenance of my fat apron, and so I think I would be willing to consider getting that removed. But again, I have at least between 40 and 60 more pounds to go before I really need to start worrying about that, and then, you know, a year or two down the line from when I lose that last 40 to 60 pounds. But in the meantime, I've lost 80, so that's exciting. I'm really happy about it. And I got the video posted on the day that it's supposed to be posted, so feeling pretty awesome in general today. All right, well, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good day.